Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Warren Creanan.
And I'm Suzanne van Aswegen. We are from Eduvos, representing our 12 campuses nationwide. Thank you for joining this funding webinar tonight, where we will be talking to Helen Leonard from Learning Loans, who will be discussing their funding solution with us. But before we cross over to Helen, let's have a quick overview of Eduvos. Here at Eduvos, our purpose is to shape potential student by student towards Africa's prosperity. What do we mean by that? In short, shaping potential, we aim to take each student as an individual and develop them as a whole, bringing out the best within them. This is also a continuous process and not merely once off. Student by student, we look at each individual student as an individual and not merely as a student number. Africa is the area where we would like to focus on, and we want to ensure that we bring Africa into its rightful place in the world through the Africa Union vision.
In order to achieve our purpose, here at Eduvos, we'd like to stick to four main core values. Firstly, we show up with humaneness. Second, we think and act with entrepreneurial spirit. Third, we take accountability to learn and to grow. And finally, we contribute to our community by driving relevance. What we aim to bring forward today is that funding should not be a barrier to your future studies here with us at Eduvos. Here at Eduvos, we prefer to think of education not as an expense, but as an investment.
As Warren Buffett once said, the best investment you can make is within yourself. Think about it. If a man empties his purse into his head, no other man can ever take that away from him. Therefore, investing in knowledge brings up the best interest.
To get that return on investment, here at Eduvos, we would like to equip you with relevant and accredited qualifications to ensure that you do not end up merely surviving in life, but that you end up thriving in life.
Now, looking at the cost of higher education might be a bit overwhelming at times. But if you break it into smaller increments, you will notice that it is not that bad. You will realize that this investment of yours is actually manageable and well within your grasp. So, without further ado, with us this evening, we've got Helen Leonard from Learning Loans, who will now be discussing their funding solutions with us. Over to you, Helen.
Thank you very much. Right. My name is Helen Leonard. I am the Managing Director of Learning Loans. We are a student loan company that work with relevant and partnerships with educational institutions who believe in, who are as passionate about education as we are. Learning Loans was founded by Greg Schneider, who is a serial entrepreneur with a slant towards technology and digital marketing and has a strong passion for learning. I've been with Learning Loans since the very beginning, and it's been wonderful to watch and watch the company grow and see how many people we've actually helped to further their education, because we believe that education should be more affordable so that we can build a better society and in turn making it a better world. Next slide, please. So as I said, by partnering with educational institutions and charging a small credit administration fee, we have managed to reduce the interest rates charged to students, which make our loans a lot more affordable. Next slide. Understanding the market. Next slide, please. So we have found that there's a new trend in education. There is a lot bigger demand for short courses, and this is growing twice as fast as that of your traditional degree courses, which are over 3 years. This change signals a shift to an industry-wide trend towards more flexible and modular learning pathways to students. Next slide, please. We found that 83% of professionals reported experiencing career advancement in some form within 6 months of completing an upskilled course. The impact of this is that the job market clearly rewards upskilling. Many of our students who have looked at their cost-benefit analysis, they've realized that the return on investment on studying further makes financial sense, even if those studies are financed through debt. We find majority of our students find an increase in their salaries over time, as well as prospective promotions. We find in this difficult financial climate, prospective students realize the need to further their education to stay relevant and ensure job security, but a lot struggle to find the capital needed to study further. 69% of students interviewed required some form of financial support to pay for their course. This is why we founded Learning Loans. We just, to reiterate what I said in my first slide, is that we do believe that a better world comes from having more people educated. And the problem, particularly in South Africa and Africa, is a lot of students are unable to afford their education. And that is what we're here for, is to assist you so that you can grow your career further. Next slide, please. The loan application process. Next slide. So the loan application process is fairly simple. The student will apply at Eduvos and will be directed, should they need financial assistance, they will be redirected to our Learning Loans website and apply for their loan online. The website has the ability to either upload your information as well as your documents, or you are able to just send a short email wanting to know more information. We will contact the student within 24 hours to discuss the loan and to elaborate further on what documents are required. The student can still continue with the application process at Eduvos and be accepted subject to loan approval. The documents collected, we will work with the student to collect the necessary documents. And then from there, we will conduct affordability checks and issue loan in line with the NCR guidelines. We are obviously NCR registered. The process can obviously be delayed by the student trying to collect documents like payslips and bank statements. I'll go through a little bit later in my further down the slides as to what documents we do require. If the student qualifies for the loan, we will send confirmation to both the student and the Eduvos campus to confirm commitment to pay fees. The campus then issues an invoice to ourselves, less any early settlement discount should that be due to Learning Loans, and we can admit the student. Payment is made within roughly 7 working days. After a letter of commitment is issued, Learning Loans pays the Eduvos campus directly. So it's extremely straightforward. We do have a loan agreement form which will give the prospective student or our prospective client an exact breakdown of what their interest rate is, their monthly installments, how long their loan period is, as well as any admin fees. And that is signed by the student or the person taking out the student loan. Next slide, please. Who do we approve? Generally, we try to work on that you earn 8 times the monthly installment. That does sound quite scary, but considering the cost of the course, the installment, the loan period, it's not that scary. Our maximum loan amount is 75,000 Rand per student. Generally, our funding period is 6 to 24 months. We are relatively flexible with the loan repayment period. We obviously try to make it as affordable to the student or the person paying back the loan. Generally, the course will be completed within 12 months. Next slide, please. Okay, very important. The person paying off the loan must be employed with sufficient salary to cover the monthly installment. A full credit check is performed to ensure affordability as well as credit score. We do not, unfortunately, accept any students who or persons committing to paying off the loan. We do not accept you if you do not have salary. So very often, I'm sure a lot of students aren't working full time. So we suggest that you look at either a parent or a relative that is happy to cover the loan. In that case, obviously, we would deal with that person directly when it comes to credit checks and monthly installments. Next slide, please. The documents that we require from you is a copy of the student's ID. In the case that the student is not paying the student loan, we would obviously need the person who's paying the student loan or the benefactor. We'd need their ID. We do need a proof of address. This can be in a rates agreement or a rental agreement, or any form of statement. 3 months bank statements are vital, as well as 3 months of pay slips. As I said, we do perform credit checks, but you will agree to this before we do that. Next slide, please. And a student can submit their documents either via email or uploading them through the site, as earlier mentioned. Next slide, please. Just to run through a little bit of our partnership to date with Eduvos. Next slide, please. So to date, we have funded 603,560 rands worth of students. And I'm confident when I can say that has certainly changed a lot of lives. That's heartwarming and special. Next, please. We've had 333 applications. Next, 30% submitted documents and 25% were approved. Unfortunately, we do find a lot of the applications, the students are unable to get the documents together. So we do implore, all students who applies that, we are happy to help you where we possibly can. So if you have trouble getting documentation, we can definitely help where possible. Next slide, please. Our contact details are support@learningloans.co.za. Our website is learningloans.co.za, and we do have a WhatsApp number, which you're welcome to WhatsApp at. I'll give you a little, maybe we could leave that on and I can take any questions.
So if anyone on the call now has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat list, and we will read them out, and let's see what we can answer for you guys. Also, if you want, you can leave a message in the chat box and just leave a contact detail, an email address, and we can also email you relevant information. But yeah, feel free. We've got time. Let's ask some questions. And but thank you, Helen, for that great presentation.
Yes.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that are going to be needing funding.
I hope so. We want to change lives. Maybe, would you mind putting the previous slide back on? And if anybody wants to take down our contact details, they're welcome to contact me.
Yes. Yeah, we go. Got some questions coming through now. So we've got someone asking if it will also cover the costs of books.
We work on a case-to-case basis. We do assist with books. What we don't assist with is the accommodation. So if you're a student that's needing accommodation or food, or that we can't assist with, but we can certainly look at your funding your books.
Helen, we've got another question. Do you only fund full-time students?
Definitely not. Definitely. In fact, the majority of our students are part-time students.
I see we're still waiting for a few questions there. Here's the favorite question.
Yes.
Is interest on the loan quite reasonable?
I was waiting for that question. Yes, it is. We do have an agreement with yourselves that we charge actually a very good rate when it comes to student loans. Our maximum student loan is 20% interest. Generally, majority of student loans, you're actually looking at about 23-24%.
Helen, then also, what is the loan period?
So the loan period is obviously how long you want to take your loan out for. On average, I find with Eduvos loans, it's between 12 and 24 months. We've got maybe a handful of student loans that we only have for 6 months, if it's a very small, short, cheap course. But we try to make it as affordable for the student as possible. So obviously, the larger the loan, the longer the loan period. But we don't go over 24 months.
Okay. I see we've got another question here. Is it possible for someone to be funded if they are currently sitting in debt review?
Unfortunately not. And that breaks my heart to say that, but unfortunately, if you are under debt review legally as a NCR registered company, we are unable to offer a loan.
Great. Yeah, and I suppose in that situation, people could, I mean, maybe speak to a parent or someone else who would and apply through someone else, and then yeah, work that.
Correct. That's what I said earlier is if you have a relative that is prepared to assist in funding your your monthly debit orders and they've got a clean credit record, then we'll definitely help.
Right. Helen, can you add to a loan you took out the year before to provide funding for your next year?
Generally, we prefer that you finish off your first loan before you start your second loan. But however, if you are a good standing payer and you pay us on time every month, then we could obviously look at it as on a case-to-case basis.
Here's a nice, interesting one. Is it possible for funding for foreign students?
Yes, as long as I'm trying to think if I have any foreign students. If we are able to have a proof, the documents that we require being the proof of address, bank statements, ID or passport, then foreign students is absolutely not a problem.
Okay, so it's all down to the vetting documents that they need
Yes.
to support.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is there anything else in there that... Just waiting. Come on, guys. I know you guys have got some questions brewing there. Let's bring them out.
Okay. Helen, do you fund higher certificates or is it just degrees?
No, yes, we do fund higher certificates. It's actually not. In fact, majority of our loans are not degrees. We are more focused on higher certificates, as well as short courses, modular courses. We generally, I mean, it also depends on what schools that we've partnershiped with. We've been quite selective of who we partner with because we are catering for a particular market, which is the higher learning, short modular courses, etc.
What does the loan cover?
Your course fees. So generally, when you choose to study a course, you will obviously speak to the relevant person at Eduvos on campus, and then you will send your documentation to us. So as I said, we cover your course costs, which generally includes some form of registration fee. We will look at your book costs, but other than that, we don't assist with accommodation or a monthly stipend or anything along those lines. Our funds are purely to get you that extra education.
Just a follow up on that. I think this person's probably also just trying to. So basically, your loan will not go into the student's bank account. It'll go straight to Eduvos's.
Yes, so definitely, we do not pay any student directly. We pay the learning institution,
Right.
which takes the headache out of the loan application process as well. Having to pay off this monthlies, we settle directly with the with Eduvos.
Which is great from our side because it also just avoids any, you're not going to be halted in your education for fees not paid or anything. It allows you with us just to go through your year unhindered.
I must add, though, unless, of course, you default on your student loan. So if you do default on your student loan, unfortunately, we will be in contact with Eduvos. And absolute worst case scenario, if you can't come up with a payment plan, we would have to withhold or request that your certificate is withheld.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah. So makes sense. While we're waiting for some more questions, you'll see there is a link for some. We are having student funding webinars all week. So yeah, feel free to engage with us throughout this week. Also, just make sure that you're writing down the contact details here for learning loans. because I am going to speak to Helen tomorrow and make sure that you've all put in an inquiry. And yeah, so yeah, I don't see any questions coming through at this stage. We have still got some time left, so don't be afraid to ask anything. There's no such thing as a stupid question. Everything is relevant. What we're really trying to do here is to make sure all of you have an opportunity to study with us here at Eduvos next year, and we're looking forward to seeing a lot of you on campus, COVID permitting, obviously. Also remember, if you are have any questions relating to Eduvos, you can also look on the Eduvos website. There's a lot of information there. And yeah, there's contact details and everything you will need. Feel free to contact us. And also you can put in a question here with your email address. And if it's anything related to what you want to study, we can get a higher education consultant to contact you as well. If you need assistance in choosing a course, please feel free to visit our website, and yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Helen, we've got one more question that just
Yes.
came in. Do you only pay for 24 months? Are they supposed to pay the students for the other months themselves, or for how long do you cover?
I'm sorry, I'm battling to understand that. Are you asking if we only cover a 1 month or 1 year or 2 year course?
I think that is what is trying to say. Yes.
We will look at 3-year courses, and we look at it on an annual basis. Unfortunately, as I say, our maximum loan is 75,000. So we do. We've obviously got to stick with that. In some exceptional cases, we will obviously relook at if it's if a person applies and they're wanting a larger loan for a longer period of time. But in terms of the 24 months repayment period, if that's what you're referring to as well, that also, we look at different loan periods depending on the size of your loan, also on how long you're studying for. So you might find, for example, you might find you're studying a 12-month course. However, the installments are a little bit too high for your income. So then we will extend it to, although you'll only study for 12 months, the loan period will be 24.
And I think the important thing there is that everyone, it's on a case-by-case basis.
Yes.
So people must apply and see what they are, what they can be funded for. So I think it's really about engaging with the companies and educate with learning loans and finding out further.
I completely agree. And I think the difference with learning loans is that we are very much a personal a company that we build relationships with our students. We're not a massive conglomerate that everyone's just a number. I know the names of most of our students, not necessarily on a one-to-one basis, but we do look at everything, every single application we look on a one-to-one basis. Because as I say, we're here to change the world through education.
There we
Like
go.
you
I
guys
love
are.
it. I love it.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a question looking for a scholarship. So I just want to scholarships, anything like that. Obviously, they're asking. I think this is a question to Eduvos. Oh, they're asking if you offer, first of all, if learning loans offer any such things. But I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen anything like that.
No, unfortunately, we don't offer scholarships. But I do. I'm sure in partnership with yourselves, I'm sure I could put the relevant students in touch with some scholarship companies that might be able to assist.
And then I don't have the details for us. If Paul, Darneen, maybe you've from Eduvos side.
Fleary, I'd say please just refer to our website for now.
Okay.
And send your contact details or the contact us form, and someone will be in touch with any options.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, in answer to that, yeah, contact us, and we'll also take things on a case-by-case basis. and see what we can do to assist wherever we can. Right, we're coming to the last few minutes of the webinar. So if you've got any last minute questions you want to quickly get in, now's your time. You don't have to forever hold your peace, because you can always just email support@learningloans.co.za, or you can also get hold of us. Just visit our website. All the contact details are there. As I say, we're all really looking forward to seeing many of you studying with us next year. Okay, so this is a question from earlier. Do you fund a 3-year degree? Yes, it is. Everything is on a case-by-case basis. Apply for it, and they will let you know further, what you will need or what the process is from there. Right, I think that brings us to the end of our presentation. Just from Eduvos side, we want to thank Helen. That was a really informative presentation you put forward together for us this evening, and we are ecstatic to be working with you guys. I hope a lot of students will be contacting you guys, and to all the students, our potential students,
Looking forward to see you on campus next year.
That's it, definitely. So thank you, everyone. That was really great. I really enjoyed the session with you guys. Helen, once again, thank you very much. That was great.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're more than welcome. Thanks, guys.
And may each of you have a wonderful evening.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.